morning, everybody. My name is Rochelle, and this here is Frito Bandito, and he is a Quaker Parrot. Say hello, Frito. We are here today, and we're here to talk to you about if you are interested in purchasing a Quaker Parrot, is this the right bird for you? And maybe give you a little bit of education on Quaker Parrots. I just want to let everybody know that I am by no means a Quaker Parrot expert. Frito is the first and only Quaker Parrot that I do own, and I am not a Quaker Parrot expert, but I am a sometimes Frito expert. So I just want to share with you the things that I observed with the Quakers, and maybe this will help you in your decision if you are interested in purchasing a Quaker. First off, you can see Quaker Parrots, they're not little, they're bigger than a lovebird and a cockatiel, but they are smaller than your other parrots, like your African grays and birds of that nature. So they're kind of a medium little parrot. I would put them in the same class as a conure. They can live to be about 20 years. They do come in a few different colors. They have various shades of blue that they come in, and also green, and they are very loud when they scream in your ear. Now, Quaker Parrots, if you are looking for a bird that talks, my experience with Frito is he is an exceptional talker. He is about 1 year old, and Frito, I have lost count of his vocabulary. So my guesstimate, I would say that he has a vocabulary somewhere in the range of anywhere between 100 and 150 words and phrases that he says at this time at 1 year old. I got him when he was 4 years old, or 4 months old. And he really didn't have any words at that time, but within a week or two of having him, he did start talking. And he's just never slowed down since. Every day he comes up with a new phrase, it seems like. He does pick up on words that when I say things with emotion, so that is true, or if I'm a little bit flustered and say something, like calling the dogs if they won't come, he will just immediately start mimicking me on that. Another thing about Frito talking that I've noticed, and I've never come across this on any bird sites talking about birds talking, is that Frito does have the ability to change up things and create new sentences. So, for instance, I tell him, "You're a poopy bird." In no time have I ever used the word "I'm" in anything I have taught Frito. And on his own, he has started saying, "I'm a poopy bird." Like, he actually understands the context of what he says things in. So that's something, a little bit more investigation, but he's done that with many phrases. So it's like he does know what he's saying. It's not just the mimicking thing with the bird. Also with Frito is he does not like to talk on camera, and he does not like to talk in front of strangers for some reason. So we are definitely working on that. Now, if it's just me and him alone and there's no camera on, Frito will talk and talk and talk, and he will not be quiet. So I don't know, he's just camera shy, and he's like people shy. So for the longest time, my husband said, "That bird does not talk." Well, and I say, yes, he does. He talks all the time, because Frito would not talk in front of him. And Frito still will not talk in front of my husband. So if my husband wants to hear Frito talk, if he leaves the room and stands outside the door, Frito will start in chattering and just talking like crazy. So it's pretty funny. Me and Frito have a very good bond. Frito is with me 24/7. Due to my health circumstances, I am at home 24/7. So Frito gets to spend all that time with me, and that could be why he is such a good talker, because he's with me 24 hours a day, and I constantly talk to him all day long. Like, we have conversations, and his favorite thing is to say, "Huh? What?" Because I say that to him all the time. "What did you say, Frito? What? Huh?" And so he does the same thing back to me. So it's pretty funny. So back to, is this the bird for you? So Quakers are very outgoing. They're very social and friendly. They love to interact. I would suggest, if you do not have the time to spend with a Quaker, do not purchase this bird. They're very interactive. Like I said, I'm with him all day long, and I talk to him all day long. I would hate to see that he's a bird that would have to sit in the cage with no interaction with his family, at least on a daily basis. I'm not saying you have to be home with the bird all day, But I am saying that they do need interaction every day, taken out of the cage every day. So when you get home from work, you would need to take him out, spend time with him, talk to him, play with him. Don't just ignore him, because he is extremely social, and I'm sure all Quaker parrots are this way. The second thing is they can bite. Now, Frito was a hand-fed baby. So he's not a biter per se, that he just wants to bite me or bite anybody because he's being mean, but they are very curious birds. So they want to pick at everything that they see. And when they pick at it, they're thinking a lot of it's food. And so they will try and pick at it and pick it up. Now, I am a very fair-skinned person. I have a lot of freckles. So Frito looks at my freckles and says, hey, that's something to eat. And so my arms are pretty chewed up here. Let's see if you can see my arm. See, those are Frito spots. So where he's picked at my freckles. And once you have a scab, then they think, oh, that's even more interesting. I really need to get that. And so they will keep picking at that same spot when you're holding them. So it can be quite painful at times. But like I said, he's not doing it to be mean. He's just doing it because that's what Quakers do. He's interested, he's foraging, he's looking for things to pick at. So keep that in mind if you're squeamish about a bird biting you, or you can't handle the pain, because it will hurt. It's like a sting when they bite. And I'm sure if they were aggressive and you did have a mean Quaker, that it could be extremely painful if they decide to bite you, and they could probably take a pretty good chunk out of you. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for something because you're afraid of a biting bird, you might want to go to something smaller like a parakeet, or even a cockatiel for that matter, because their bites tend to not be as bad as the Quaker. So yeah, Frito's quite proud of himself. Yeah. So that's one of the issues if you wanted to have a Quaker parrot. Also, housing a Quaker parrot, I'm going to get into that in another video, but make sure that you do have the adequate size of cage for the Quaker, because they do spend a lot of time in their cages, I'm sure, if you have to work. And they are very curious parrots. Like I said, they play with their toys a lot. And so they need a lot of entertainment on their own. They are also cage aggressive. And this is a Quaker parrot trait. So if you do get a Quaker parrot, they're not like other parrots. You're not going to reach your hand into the cage and pull them out of the cage. There he goes, screaming in my ear. Now I'm deaf again. If you want, you need to teach the bird to come out of the cage to you, because if you reach in there to get the bird, they are going to attack you. Now, it's pretty funny. We get a good laugh at it is when I change out Frito's toys. He gets very mad. He's like, you're messing with my toys. You're not allowed to touch my toys. Even if I'm unscrewing him from the outside of the cage, he will come and he will try to attack to protect his possessions. So yes, he's a hoarder, and he's very possessive of all his toys. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's something that you are not going to be able to train them not to do, is be cage aggressive. That's just a Quaker parrot. It's their nature. So if that's something that would bother you, do not purchase the Quaker. The other thing that you need to take into consideration is other members of your household. Do you have small children? Because the Quaker parrots are pretty flamboyant birds, they can make small children very afraid. And because they're, like I said, they're not necessarily being aggressive, but they are very flamboyant. So if they bite or chew or fly, that can be very scary to a small child. So take that into consideration when you purchase the parrot. He just pooped on me. Yeah, poopy bird. So that's something that you need to think about as far as other members of the family go. Now, Frito's very social. Like if I have family members come, they can hold him, and he's friendly with everybody. He's definitely my bird. He prefers me, but he is friendly with everybody in the family. So that's something, that makes Quakers a very good choice in a parrot. Now, one big issue that people do need to realize is Quaker parrots are not legal in all states of the United States. So before you purchase one, you do need to really make sure that it is legal in your state, because there have been cases where people have had birds in states where they're illegal, and they've had to take the bird to the vet, and by law, the vet does have to notify the Fish and Game Department. And so there's been many cases throughout the United States where people have lost their Quaker parrots and had to turn them in because it was illegal for them to have them. So just make sure that if you're going to purchase one, that it is legal in your state. Other than that, I just want to let you know that Quaker parrots are an excellent choice of a bird if you have the time to interact with them. Also, if you're not afraid of getting bit once in a once in a while, and if you're looking for a bird that talks that is more affordable, because an African gray is a bird that I have dreamed of owning all my life, and I've just never been in a position to be able to afford African gray. I had to spend $1,000 on up, and then $500 for a cage. So yeah, that's just been a little bit out of my budget. And so you can usually find a Quaker Parrot on Craigslist, and they run about anywhere from $250 to $450. If you get one that's a little bit older that somebody's owned, you can usually find one with the cage. And that's how I got Frito. He was purchased by somebody else. I did not get him from the breeder. And they sold him for relatively cheap with his cage. So I got very lucky. So that's a way to look at it. And also, you can find breeders on Craigslist and other places, I'm sure, where you can get a hand-fed baby, and you can even do the hand feeding. They will teach you how to do that and sell you the supplies so you can bond with that bird. So if that's something that you have time to do, then that's also a good way, because then you're getting a parrot that's bonded to you. He's trying to be very social here again. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment. Like I said, I am not a Quaker Parrot expert by any means. I am just a Frito sometimes expert. And so I will be sharing future videos about Frito and Quaker Parrots to maybe help anybody out that has any questions and would like to purchase one of these birds. Have a good day.